Alright, so it's been a while. We did a Trolley problem make before, so we're going to do the Trolley problem game today. Naturally, we can set the blood to whatever we want, because that's a typical option in games. High. So, YOLO. So there's 333 problems. Obviously, we're not going to go through them all. We're going to go as empirical as we can.
Indeed.
Music is very loud. It says that we made the right decision. I don't know if I believe that, of course. It is murder to pull the lever. You have no duty to intervene. The blood of this person is on your hands. Yes, but we saved those 5 people, but I'm not sure they'd be grateful. From a purely selfish standpoint. I don't want to mute it, I just want it not as loud. So that music is unbearably loud. I apologize. Alright, what's the question? 5 people who will be crushed to death if you do pull the lever. 1 person will be crushed to death by the Trolley if you don't pull the lever. Well, yeah, so we don't murder 5 people, we just let 1 be murdered.
Uh-huh.
Exactly, we would murder 5 people. Exactly, we saved lives. See, by exact logic, thank you. 1 person will be crushed to death by the Trolley if you do pull the Trolley. Excuse me, God, I can't speak. By the Trolley if you do pull the lever. 5 people, 2 of which are organ donors. 9 lives will be saved if these 5 people are killed by the Trolley, which will happen if you don't pull the lever. I feel like in this one I just wouldn't pull the lever anyway, because that's a pain in the ass.
Indeed.
Like empirically, sure, exactly. We've made a net savings of 4 lives. The mother of the UK took her child the full term knowing it would die shortly after birth in order to use its organs to save others' lives. I mean, I don't know if I'd make that decision, but okay. Hitler before he took power, Stalin before he took power. They're both pretty bad. I remember I saw this one in the preview, you hit this button and it does both.
Indeed.
Which is arguable in and of itself, because then, like, sure, Hitler and Stalin were bad, but you're killing people, before a crime took place. You're going into, like, Minority Report territory. Punishing people for crimes that didn't happen. I mean, if you have the ability to talk to them or stop them before they took power, there may be other alternatives of simply killing them. But for our sakes, we would choose that. 1 person is an organ donor. Enough organs will remain intact 3 lives if they are killed by the Trolley. Well, no, we're not actively going to kill somebody. I didn't mean to pull the lever, but okay, now we are.
Indeed.
I forgot that wasn't the fast forward button. Yeah, that increased 2 lives. Exactly, and I agree with that. If you're not an organ donor, go be an organ donor. Don't fucking waste your organs. Let people save people's lives. You're dead. It doesn't matter. 5 American lumberjacks, 5 American firefighters. I mean, sure. Sorry, lumberjacks. Firefighters are more valuable. I don't care. There are alternatives to lumber at this point. I feel like that's a little outdated too. Firefighters don't just respond to fires either. So, I mean, they do plenty of other things. And I feel like if this was like a live thing, people would judge me more for killing firefighters than lumberjacks. 5 American roofers, American firefighters. We just talked about this in their last little blurb up here. I still feel like the roofers. Fires may not happen, but firefighters do plenty of other shit. Don't be an asshole. Yeah, American firefighters stay on the job annually is roughly 6 per 100,000, as opposed to 47 per 100,000 for American roofers. That's still a very low number. This high fatality rate makes roofing work the third most dangerous job in the U.S. behind fishing and logging work. Huh. Never would have known. One healthy person will be crushed to death by a pull. 5 cancer patients, each with a 10% chance of survival, who will be crushed to death by a trolley if you don't pull a lever. Sorry, cancer boys. You got cancer, you're dying. No, it's not worth the gamble, exactly. 3 people with an... And those cancer people might have wanted to die. A person who is generally happy almost all the time. 3 people with incurable form of chronic depression. They want to die. I know what it's like. They cheered for the trolley. One should always act as to produce the greatest aggregate happiness among all sentient beings. Unhappy people take away from that aggregate happiness. To be constantly unhappy is a fate worse than death. Maybe. Since under utilitarianism, unhappiness is a fate worse than death. This puts a high value on any treatment or quality of life improvements that can alleviate depression. It should not be viewed as though depressed people are not worthy of life. I didn't view it as depressed people are not worthy of life. As a depressed person, I viewed it as, you know. Understand what the utilitarian character is determined to be a good and utilitarian decision. Would you like to play the rest of the game in utilitarian mode? You receive a score on whether or not your decision is utilitarian. Free play mode. The score isn't recorded. There will be no negative consequences for disagreeing with any of the characters. Highest net happiness isn't it? No, we're gonna do free play. Fuck you. I don't want to keep score. 5 85-year-old men, 1 16-year-old girl. Sorry. Yeah, they're all dead. They're close to death. I don't care. If everyone here dies, the average age is less than 102. Their quality of life is the same, and the grief caused to their families is negligible. Exactly. That is very to put a lever. The girl will probably get much more happiness from her remaining 70 or so years than these 5 men would get from their remaining 5 or so combined. Exactly. A guy who plays the guitar at parties, a guy who doesn't thank the bus driver. I mean, they might want him to play his guitar at parties, but that kind of person is generally annoying. And this guy's just a day-to-day asshole. Yeah, I think that's right.
Indeed.
Like, that's a petty thing. Exactly. Well, these 71% people are idiots. Not thanking the bus driver doesn't affect you. Your mother who will be killed by the trolley full lever. Your current future spouse who will be killed if you do nothing. No hesitation.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Idiots. I'm sure you only get one mom, but that's done and over. A grave robber who has robbed over 100 graves, unbeknownst to the loved ones of the corpses he has robbed, and will continue to rob 100 more before he dies. A man who spends his weekends going to bars looking for fights to get into. I mean, grave robbing is just early archaeology. And it's not really hurting anybody.
Indeed.
Exactly, victimless crime. I'm glad that it agrees with my logic before I read it. You from the past or you from the future? I mean, we're opening up a time paradox. If I kill myself from the past, I can't be here right now. You know, that is a future me problem. Exactly. Time paradox. 5 or 4 murderers who never received a punishment for their crime, yet spend their days working for charities. An average college student. Sorry, college boy. Or girl. Whatever you may be. The evil and unhappiness caused by the murderers is over and done with. Exactly. They only serve to create happiness now. Killing them now would not save the lives of the people they killed. I think the utilitarian thing may have agreed with me a lot. So. 5 puppies, all with loving families at home, or an 80-year-old man. Sorry, old man. No contest. This man is near the end of his circulation. Exactly. Even if his consciousness and ability to enjoy happiness is magnitudes larger than the dog's, it is unlikely he has enough remaining time to experience it to outweigh the potential happiness experience of the dogs. Not to mention the amount of joy and happiness dogs provide to a loving family. Exactly. 5 kittens with loving families, 5 puppies with loving families. That's difficult. I feel like your average person would say puppies, because puppies grow up into dogs, and dogs are, more loyal and more things. But I've always been a cat person, so unfortunately we're gonna run over the dogs. Realistically, I should have been fair and just taken both. Yeah, exactly, I know. There's a natural tendency between both puppies and their owners. While this exists in cats, it is to a lesser extent. The amount of happiness a dog can experience in the presence of a human has developed to a greater extent than cats. It is therefore the right decision to say to puppies, fuck you. Your mother, your father. Ah, no. That was what I'm misreading. I didn't mean to click a letter. Because I'm in the position, I never actually met or knew my father, so I would have no guilt or feeling over that. I don't strongly care one way or another this way either, but this one's more apathy. 3 humanities majors, 3 STEM majors. STEM is actually useful for science and progress. I'm sure humanities is good for, humanities, arts, and that kind of crap, but yeah. I know they're very important. They do important things. They help people, but it's not as important as that. Exactly. Yeah, to society, but I disagree. But probably not Little Stand, okay. An elephant poacher who is the only source of income for a family of 5. He kills about 50 elephants a year. Well, poacher's dying. My family of 5 better find some jobs. And it's still illegal what he's doing, so yeah. Exactly. 100 people or me. I'm zero question. I would just take that deal anyway. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. You were 10 people. Alright, 10 people's not worth it. 10 people are gonna die. That's entertainment. No, I pulled the lever. It should have been the 10 people. Whatever. You were 2 people. If I pull the lever, it should be the 2 people. Or it just comes and kills me either way. No, my life is worth more than 2 of the average person. Fuck you. To me. Random person. Fuck the random person. Okay, are we just ignoring my choices now, or what?
Indeed.
Yeah, because we wanted to kill the person. Fuck the random person. Okay, every other time I pulled the lever, it didn't turn. So let's see, is it going to turn this time like an asshole? Yeah, okay. So the game is biased for whatever reason.
Indeed.
Doesn't want me to kill myself. I don't know. YOLO.
Oh no.
All direct descendants of Genghis Khan that are currently alive. That's a lot of people. Well, direct descendants, that might be a little bit different. Because how direct is direct? Because it's like half the world's fucking descendants of Genghis Khan in some way. I feel like there's less citizens of Iceland. And there might be some overlap in that Venn diagram there, so. Okay, there we only killed 334,000 versus 35 million, so that's a win. 10 random years of your memory, 3 years of your lifespan. I'll take off 3 years, whatever. That's a win.
Hmm.
Exactly. An American man who is usually rude to wait staff at restaurants tips well. An American man who is very polite and gracious to wait staff at restaurants but never tips. I feel like at the end of the day, they would prefer the person that tips well, the wait staff.
Indeed.
If he's tipping like 30% on a bill, being a little bit rude, at the end of the day, you're going to be like, okay, he was an asshole, but he tipped us really good money, so I kind of forgive him. Exactly. See, 50% of people agree with my terrible logic. A vegan, a meat-eating American lumberjack. Fuck you. Now, in reality, there's nothing wrong with vegans, but we talked about lumberjacks tag right there. I mean, 7,000 animals in their lifetime. That's low numbers. That's amateur numbers. We gotta work that up. The average American meat eater will eat significantly more than that. Animal happiness is important. Almost all animals raised for meat in the U.S. goes through horrible, unhappy life. Greenhouse gas products that are required to produce meat are the leading cause of climate change, causing much harm to all living things. Under utilitarianism, the American meatpacking industry is a great evil. I understand, yes, I agree to a degree. But when we're working on synthetic meat and that kind of stuff, like once we get that out there, I'm 100% on board. But could I go vegan? Possibly, but my diet would be extremely restricted. Vegan, a gametarian, a hunter who only eats vegetables and the meat of the game he kills. I feel like the gametarian is the better choice to survive. I mean, I'm sure that they wanted me to pick the vegan, but and that's true with deer. I grew up with a lot of my uncles and that kind of stuff hunting like deer and stuff. If you don't hunt the deer, they go crazy and fuck up your ecosystem. So, where that's your decision, not you. All mosquitoes in the world, all murderers in the world. Mosquitoes are terrible. They spread malaria. Everyone hates them. I'm sure there's some scientific negative or ecological destruction by killing the mosquitoes, but we're going to kill the mosquitoes. 500,000 people are killed by homicide every year. Mosquitoes, by transferring diseases, kill more. Malaria alone kills 1 million people every year. Biologists estimate that the elimination of mosquitoes will not have a very big impact on the environment. Okay, maybe I was wrong. I disagree. A death sentence is not necessary for murder. Death sentences, at least in the U.S., I don't know about other countries, justice systems. The death sentence here is significantly more expensive than a life sentence. Like, you're wasting so much state and government money. And there's too many, innocent people who were killed and then later discover they're wrong. If the trolley crosses this path, all discarded straws in the ocean will cease to exist. The trolley crosses this path, all discarded fishing nets in the ocean will cease to exist. And let's see we're both, yeah. We'll press that button.
Indeed.
I think you agree with me. Shaws make up about 1%. Well, whatever. Save the fucking turtles. A cloning machine which would allow would-be parents to clone a newborn version of themselves. Nothing. I like this option because then you can get into the real debate of nature versus nurture and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you raised yourself, how much would you turn out like yourself? I like that decision.
Indeed.
Maybe a good experiment. 13% of Americans are smart. So there's nothing wrong with human cloning, I don't feel. Because it's making another person. Get your stupid religious Christendom, whatever the fuck religion you follow, out of the way. It's not Star Wars. It's not like the Clone Wars where you're growing. Well, I mean, I guess you could grow them in a vat, hypothetically, but A random tourist currently visiting France. The original Mona Lisa painting, all copies will remain intact. I mean, see, to me, this is just plain and simple. A painting isn't worth a person. Like, I'll agree with that utilitarianism.
Hmm.
Material objects are very rarely worth humans. Exactly. There's still pictures of it. There's still copies. Nobody even know. A 30-year-old guy who harasses women when they aren't interested in him dating apps. Yes. A 30-year-old guy who scams kids out of their items on RuneScape. Fuck them kids. They learn a life lesson.
Indeed.
I mean, we could kill both, but yes, yeah, I agree. Them kids learn a life lesson. Like I said, 10 men, all access to pornography in the United States. Men without an outlet for their sexual desires become much more violent and aggressive. It is certain that most of the male populace is having increased violent tendencies will create much more harm than tendons. Exactly. If you're a prude and don't watch porn, good for you, but crate of money you just found, a little girl and a crate of money you just found. And that's obviously just the crate of money. Either way, I'm losing the crate of money. Why are we going to kill it as a child just because? I mean, I guess to be petty, but Bioshock being renowned for its complex morality system. Really. That's an interesting take. Mr. Calculator, the professor. I don't know who Mr. Calculator is. I don't know who the professor is either, to be fair, in this context, but...
Hmm.
Oh, people in the game. The game of Pachinko will be wiped from the earth if the trolley crosses this path. The entire Japanese fishing and forestry industries will be destroyed if the trolley crosses this path. I guess Pachinko? I know Japan does a lot of fishing. I don't know about forestry, but...
Hmm.
That's a surprising amount. Just destroyed 4% of Japan's GDP and 0.3% of the entire world's GDP. Not to mention 14% of all anime, which is used to make animations within the machines. Fishing and forestry in Japan only account for 1.9% of Japanese GDP combined, which, whatever. While fishing and forestry have a tiny overall impact on the environment, the Japanese fishing industry is responsible for endangerment of whales. Okay. I can accept that I made the wrong decision. A Scottish child who will live his entire life in East Glasgow, the UK, or a Haitian child. I mean, neither really, to be fair, but I don't know. I don't know enough about the UK. I mean, I've heard people say like Glasgow's just like gangs and that kind of shit, but that's just like hearsay rumors that I know. I don't really know all firsthand. So we're gonna be fair and just take out both.
Oh no.
One cow to be raised on a typical American factory farm. 200 chickens to be raised on a typical American factory farm. It's a lot of chicken nuggets. Stick them out. If you say so. But only one cow provides as many calories as roughly 2 chickens. There's therefore roughly 200 times more suffering required to create food from chicken than from beef. Everyone is making an important moral decision when they decide to choose a beef, a chicken quesadilla. Very nice. That's when I think they probably would like me to do both, but because they wanted to run into vegans. A random person's Stradivarius violin, a 17th century violin renowned for its unique sound. It is worth in the tens of millions of dollars, and there are only about 600 in the world. A random person from a developing country. Well, I'm not going to go back on the material items versus human life that I talked about with the Middle East and stuff, so yeah, exactly. Not greater than human life. That's what I said earlier. That's what we're going to stick by until I change my mind. All manga, all anime. I watch some anime. I don't participate or partake in manga, so I know a lot of my friends might hate me, but I'm gonna say manga. I don't know if I agree or disagree, but 5% people who might donate blood once or twice in their entire lifetime. A regular blood donor who has been responsible for saving dozens of lives will save dozens more. Sorry, 5 people. One of the net happiness things. Exactly, we saved dozens. If the trolley crosses this path, the 1918 flu pandemic won't happen. If the trolley crosses this path, World War I won't happen. See, I don't like changing the past questions because you don't really know what negatives or what different future may have.
Indeed.
It's that we don't know that though for sure, but I mean theoretically yes. A waitress, 4 random people, and Emmanuel can't himself. See, I don't remember who. He's the non-utilitarian guy. Whatever. Random waitress, I guess. One person versus many. Yes, I murdered that person. I had to. 6 androids who act exactly like human beings but possess no real consciousness and cannot reproduce. A human street sweeper operator. I mean, if they're sentient, whether they have a real consciousness or not, they're still exactly like human beings. But are they sentient? Are they? How did Detroit become human? Are we going? I guess the androids. I'll be the evil in the world.
Indeed.
I just cannot feel happiness. Their lives are worthless besides what joy they bring other people, and it's likely not more than what Mr. Sweet Super does. I doubt that. But 5 dogs led by their families. A service dog for a blind person. I mean, a service dog has more use, but we'll save 5 dogs. I know it's a bad decision either way. 30 terrorist fighters, 1 journalist, or no one. Hot take: somebody's terrorist is someone else's freedom fighter. It just depends what country you're from. So, as an American, 30 Al Qaeda members, whatever. If I was from another country, that could be a different question, different answer. So, we'll look at it that way. We kill no one. I don't care. Every Lone Star tick in the world, insects that carry a disease that makes humans allergic to red meat. Or no. You want to spread the ticks from the red meat. Well, we're killing them. Again, don't know if that's the right decision or not, but whatever. Idea for as many lunch ticks as possible. In addition to being one of the biggest contributors of suffering in the world, the meat industry... Yeah, I know, you want to destroy the meat industry. That's fine. Whatever. Everyone living in the southern hemisphere, everyone living in the northern hemisphere. Well, I live in the northern hemisphere, so... I think we'll go up to like question 75 and then I'll stop and maybe do more later. But exactly. 88% of the world, including myself. So, a jumping police officer that got scared and accidentally killed a civilian. A 16-year-old kid who made a fake 911 call to SWAT, a gaming streamer he didn't like, which ended up getting them killed by the man on the track. Now, this man shouldn't be a police officer, clearly. But I'm sure he got... In an ideal world, he would have been either fired or suspended for a very long time and sent for a lot of retraining if he didn't be. This kid's just an asshole. Like this stuff is never SWAT somebody, period. Don't do fake 911. I mean, I'm a 911 operator. Don't make fake 911 calls and do shit like this. Just as a personal peeve, fuck this kid. A woman who always backs into parking spots even if they're blocking someone's way. A man who uses his turn signal about half the time. I mean, if you can back into a parking spot, that's fine. But Yeah, they're more annoying, so we kill them. A random short man, 5 feet 2 inches somewhere in the world. A random tall man, 6 feet 4 inches somewhere in the world. I don't. Well, we're not going to skip. We're always going to pick an answer, but we'll kill the tall man. Whatever. 95% of 6'4" men report satisfaction with their height versus 25% of 5. Okay, so they're really happy or killing the short man. Okay. Taller men are viewed as more attractive, have higher incomes, and have an overall higher opinion of their happiness than shorter men. Since this is a random person from anywhere in the world, the shorter man has a higher likelihood of being malnourished and having a lower quality of life. Sure, true enough, but an African child, your ability to eat chocolate ever again. Now, pulling the lever should send me towards the chocolate. I want to be very clear. That is my choice. I don't care about eating chocolate. That's fine. Okay. I'm not that big of a fan of chocolate anyway, so that's fine. 100 rats in a lab being injected with small amounts of heroin until they die. Is that suffering though? Do the rats enjoy it? I feel like the rats enjoy it. Drug dealers enjoy the drugs until they die most of the time. Or druggies. Exactly. I was right with that being right. Your free will, your capacity for happiness. I mean, that's already gone, so we'll yellow.
Oh no.
We do it free will. A U.S. truck driver, age 40, an Iraq War veteran, age 40. Again, neither good choice, but the truck driver is serving more of a purpose right now than the war veteran, most likely. So, again, hate my decision, but that's the empirical decision. It didn't bring stabilism in the region, nor decrease the use of terrorism as a tactic. It only increased it. Truck drivers are responsible for bringing you almost everything you own and everything you need to survive, and many things that cause you happiness. Truck drivers have one of the most dangerous jobs in the U.S., much more dangerous than that of a U.S. soldier. Even if there is some positive utility by an Iraq veteran to Americans, it will be negative towards those in Iraq. Okay. So I'm glad that I understand the logic that the game's using, but still. A man who fires 3 bullets from a handgun in the air in the middle of the suburban community every 4th of July. A passenger who refuses to wear a seatbelt whenever she is a passenger in a vehicle which she rides in daily. I mean, this person's only going to kill themselves. This person can potentially kill 3 other people. Because this is why I hate people do this. When you fire bullets in the air, they need to come down somewhere. You're an asshole. You're an asshole too, but you're only an asshole yourself. In addition to reckless disregard of their own life, the passenger that doesn't wear their seatbelt is a bigger threat to the well-being of others. Drivers and passengers are often crushed to death by other passengers who don't wear their seatbelts in car accidents. 5 million car accidents happen annually in the U.S. alone. On the contrary, only a handful of people are killed annually by randomly firing a bullet in the air. Sure. Sure. I don't care. A murderer slated for execution by Trolley. An exact clone of the man with all the same memories who believes he's the original. I like that question. He didn't really do anything, but he believes he did. So we can change his memories, hopefully, and fix him. He's technically innocent, even though he believes he's guilty. Yes, the one person literally didn't do it. I disagree with your take right there, game. 1 billion people or your daughter? I don't have a daughter, so I mean, realistically, that one, but 1 billion people would help probably more, and that's probably what the game really wants. Reduce the world population, say I'll solve world hunger. So, world hunger can already be solved. That's just people are assholes. Fucking dumbass Joel dooms humanity by saving his surrogate daughter who could have been sacrificed to save the world from deadly disease. Apparently, you do the same thing. Not with that logic. The world already ended. There's not 1 billion people to kill, probably. But if we kill 1 billion people now, that would solve a lot of problems. It's the Thanos snap dilemma. 5 murderers who have killed 1 person each and will collectively kill 10 more left alive. An ousted genocidal dictator with a 1% chance of escaping and starting a coup which will kill 5,000 people. So, this is 50 versus 1% chance. 100% for 50 versus 1% for 5,000. I feel like we take those odds. I feel like we kill the 50. You're wrong. Okay. Maybe we should press exclamation to them both out, but that's whatever. 3 puppies with loving families, 5 baby elephants in a protected environment. Do we just murder all of them? Sorry, puppies. The lifespan of an elephant is about 50 to 70 years. For a dog, it's 10 to 15. Our natural affinity for dogs and the endangeredness of elephants doesn't factor in here, only their capacity for happiness. For elephants, that capacity is greater. I mean, if that's what you take from it, yeah, but alright. A man, 5 serial rapists. I mean, is that really any question? Exactly, they create more unhappiness than happiness, according to the game's logic. But they're still fucking serial rapists. Their happiness or others' happiness doesn't really matter. If you're a rapist, if you're a pedophile, if you're any of that, yeah, you deserve death. If you're a murderer, you deserve death too. But again, we'll go back to the death penalty by law. And America isn't good. Baby Vincent can go baby Salvador Dali. I mean, they're both artists. I know more of Van Gogh's work, I think. I know more of Van Gogh's work by name. I mean, I'm sure that I know a lot more paintings by him, by Salvador, but I don't think we need to kill both. Van Gogh's already had a weird thing for his cousin. Cut off his ear, too. Weird dude. Yeah, okay, fair. Fair. Marx and Engels before they were able to write Capital? No one. No one. There's nothing wrong with that. You're stupid. 2 sisters from the same family. They share a brother and 2 parents. 2 male twins, each from separate pairs. Each set has 2 parents. I feel like I'm struggling to compute the numbers with that. One of them each set of twins. There's only 1 set of twins. I feel like the ones at the top are less number because maybe they mean like this twin has 2 parents. This twin's part of another twin pair that has 2 parents. Twins who lose a twin describe the loss as traumatic, worse than losing an older brother or sister. Like a pair of them that is missing that will never be replaced. We should spare the highest amount of trauma. Is that what we did? I think so. A man who would go on to cure all forms of cancer. A woman who would go on to end world hunger. World hunger is a thing we can already actively end. We're just greedy capitalists and don't do it. Exactly. Local military conflicts, lack of government infrastructure are the main reasons for world hunger. If this person is responsible for any world hunger, they're responsible for any. Fuck you. No. Because going on to cure all cancer isn't the thing we technically can do right now. Cancers are all different. There's no magical cure for all kinds of cancer at one time. If this person found a way to cure all forms of cancer, that's a lot of different things. World hunger is something that is perfectly attainable to solve right now. It's just people are assholes. Recite your hearing. I mean, Closed caption, subtitles, yellow. I'd rather have my sight to play video games. I don't need my hearing to play this game exactly, so shut the fuck up. A grave robber who's robbed over 100 games. Okay, so we're gonna rob. We already did this one, did we not? A rapist who raped a woman while she was unconscious. She has no memory of it, but knows it happened. He has no regrets and will likely do it again. Again, victimless crime versus crime with victim. So, grave robbing again is just early archaeology. Exactly. The knowledge that it did happen. The man on the bottom track has and will continue to inflict high levels of suffering. No one, or a burglar on the way to your house who will steal roughly half of all your physical possessions you own. After this score, he'll never steal again and will live a normal life. Fuck you. You're stealing my happiness by stealing half my things. It's not. This is where this is where I go back against myself, where the material items aren't worth the human life. It's a little bit of a hypocrite, but it's fine. Everyone living in the Eastern Hemisphere. The Eastern Hemisphere has more people in it. I don't know. But again, I live in the North, but I also live in the West. So we're just going to base this simply on where I am not. Okay. Whatever. My free will or my ability to love. YOLO. I don't need either one. I got rid of my capacity for happiness already, so my ability to love is also gone. 2 furries, a window washer.
Oh no.
Furries are less religious because they were here. Yeah, that is very true, yes. But it's also just a hobby, and this is a guy actually doing a good job. So, I mean, I don't kink shame. You do you. I don't get it. An anti-vaccine influencer who will go on to discourage thousands of parents from vaccinating their children. An alt-right influencer who will go on to win over thousands of teens of young age to alt-right views. That's the same person, kind of. But either way, you're both pieces of shit, so you both die.
Oh no.
I don't care if you don't like it, I'm 100% right. And we're going to stop right there because it's been 42 minutes and that's 75 questions. I'll continue this later, I guess. We'll see. GG's and YOLO.